Hello, my name is Yasmin and welcome to Yoga with Yas. Today we're going to be running through a couple of Sun Salutations and then building into stepping into a high lunge or a warrior pose, whichever one that you prefer. If you're ready to get started, head to the front of your mat, center, ground yourself, pull your shoulders away from your ears, open your palms forward, dropping your shoulder blades away from your ears. We tend to get really scrunched up even during yoga, so just dropping them down as you breathe helps to recenter and align yourself. Spread your toes out nice and wide so you can feel the ground, opening the body, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Keeping the core slightly turned on, activating the glutes, breathing in and out. The next inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky into an upward salute, activating the glutes gently. You can slightly bend back if you'd like, or you can stay straight up. And then exhale as you fold forward, either bringing your arms into a swan dive or just coming straight forward into your forward fold. Just holding here for a moment. You can ragdoll, you can hold onto your elbows if you want. You can gently rock side to side. Just calm your breathing, feeling the stretch through your hamstrings and through your back. Lowering your arms back down to the ground. Inhale into a halfway lift. Exhale into your forward fold. Inhale into a halfway lift, whichever one feels right for you, whether you're floating your fingers on the ground or your hands are on your shin, or maybe you're up on your thighs, but working towards nice straight hamstrings. Exhale, forward fold. One more inhale for your halfway lift, nice and flat through the back. And then on the next exhale, you're stepping backwards nice and long. On this first one, lowering the knees down to the ground, shoulders again sink back and down. Tuck the pelvis under slightly, then bending your elbows so they point backwards, lowering all the way down to the ground. Shoulders roll back and down, and inhale into your upward facing dog, your baby cobra. So activate your shoulder blades, pulling them back and down, squeezing the glutes together, and just lift the hands to float them off the ground to make sure you're using your back muscles, not forcing yourself up into the pose. Holding for a moment, and then tucking the toes underneath, lift your body up into your downward facing dog as you exhale. Tilt your pelvis up towards the sky and hold here for a moment. You can walk the dog if you want. Feeling the legs bend and straighten. Shoulders again back and down. Spread your fingers out nice and wide, holding onto the earth, suction cupping your fingers and your toes. Everything spread out nice and wide. Breathing in and out. And then walking towards the front of the mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale into your forward fold. Then inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky. Upward salute, and then exhale, the arms float back down. Roll the shoulders back and down. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale into your halfway lift. Take this at whatever pace feels right for you. And then exhale as you step backwards. Now you can take the knees option that we did just before, or you can stay up on your toes with me with this one. Keeping nice and straight through the back, activate your glutes, shift your weight forward slightly. And then as you exhale and lower down to 90 degrees with the elbows, inhale as you're lifting upwards into your upward facing dog. Your knees are off the ground with this one, your glutes are nice and strong. Shoulders are away from your ears. And then tucking the feet under 1 foot at a time, exhale back up into your downward facing dog. Pelvis tilting up towards the sky. You can walk the dog or you can stay in stillness here for a moment. Breathing in and out. Walking towards the front of the mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. And then exhale, the arms come down. Roll the shoulders back and down. Take a couple of rolls. Deload the shoulders. Then inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale for a halfway lift. And then exhale, stepping backwards. Knees or toes. Shift the weight forward if you're on your toes, lowering down 90 degrees. Inhale for your upward facing dog. And then exhale as you step back into your downward facing dog. Hold here for a moment. Now, we're going to step into a high lunge for this one. There are options, though. You don't need to take the high lunge option. So this first round, we're going to take a different option in order to transition from the downward facing dog into a low lunge. and that low lunge can then become a high lunge. So from here, we're going to actually drop down into our tabletop. So this is an option if you struggle to bring your leg forward from downward facing dog into that high lunge. So we're starting with the right leg. We're now in our tabletop. The right leg, just sliding it forward between the hands here, shoulders back and down, and then inhale, the arms sweep up towards the sky. So you can stay here in this low lunge, or on the next one that we'll do, the next round, you can lift up into your high lunge, which would just be tucking the toes underneath on the left and then lifting up. You can take that option now if you would like. Exhale, lower the arms down and stepping back into your downward facing dog. Holding for a moment, and then lowering the knees down into tabletop. That left foot comes forward between the hands this time. Nice and tall, inhale, the arms up towards the sky, shoulders away from the ears. So we're in that low lunge on the left. Again, you can come up into the high lunge by tucking the toes under on the right-hand side, keeping the pelvis tucked underneath. And on the next round, if this is more comfortable for you, rather than transitioning straight from your downward facing dog into that lunge, then you can take that option. It's always what's right for you and what's within your practice. Exhale, lower the arms down and stepping backwards into your downward facing dog. Breathing in and out. And then walking towards the front of the mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, the arms come down. One more round, and this time with the high lunge. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale, stepping backwards, knees or toes once again for your chaturanga. Shift the weight forward, bending at 90 degrees. Inhale for your upward facing dog. Squeeze the glutes strong. And then exhale, pushing back into your downward facing dog. Breathing in and out. Now you can either take the tabletop transition into a low lunge and then into a high lunge, or you can take your right leg, step it all the way forward and dropping down into the low lunge or straight up into your high lunge. Trying to make sure that you're on train tracks with your feet rather than them stacked in front of each other. You'll have a lot more stability if there's a bit more spread. So if you need to readjust, that is fine. Shoulders away from the ears, breathing in and out. And then with the high lunge, there's always the option to drop your foot down at the back into a 45-degree angle. If you are more comfortable with that as a warrior one rather than a high lunge. For me, I actually personally prefer to have the high lunge. So I'll be keeping in that one. Lowering down, exhale, stepping back into your downward facing dog. Breathing in and out. Taking a moment, tilt the pelvis to the sky. And then that left leg transition, so either dropping into the tabletop again or step the left foot forward and lifting up into your high lunge, your either low lunge or high lunge on the left-hand side. Shoulders away from the ears, making sure you're on train tracks. Readjust your feet if you need to. And then you can drop that right foot back into a 45-degree angle for your warrior one. Breathing in and out. Holding for a moment. And then on the next exhale, the arms come down, stepping back into your downward facing dog. Holding here. Lower the knees down to the ground. Toes come together, knees come out wide. Just sinking into a child's pose. Feel that stretch lengthening through the armpits and the back. Breathing in and out. You can take as much time as you need here, or if you'd like to pivot over onto your back with me now. Just laying flat on your back, gently hug the knees in towards your chest, taking a little rock side to side. And then bringing your arms out into the shape of a T. Gently drop your legs one way or the other. I'm taking the left side so that I feel the stretch on the right. And you can put a bolster underneath the knees on the left if that is more comfortable for you, if the stretch is too much. If you'd like to increase the stretch, you can straighten your top leg. Just feel that side twist. Breathing in and out. Feel the lengthening through the right side of your torso. Activate your core, squeeze nice and strong. Bring the legs to center, give them a little bit of a hug. Arms come out nice and wide and then dropping the legs down towards the right-hand side. Again, a bolster underneath your knees if it's too much. And then straightening the leg if you'd like more. Breathing in And out. And activating the core, legs come back in, give the legs a little bit of a hug. And if you want, you can take this moment here to just lay in your corpse pose and take a shavasana. Take as long as you need here. You can run through the flow again. You can add on whatever else is right for you and your practice say. But otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed this flow, and I hope you enjoyed the option with that transition there. Let me know what you thought in the comments, or if you have any questions or queries, please do let me know, and I'll get back to them as quickly as I can. Otherwise, I'll see you next week for the next free weekly flow.